We're going to get started today with our current topic. So, Casey, take it away.
I'll take it away. This is exciting news. Brrr. Big news from Marshall. They've got giant price drops for the U.S.
Really?
Like huge price drops.
Okay. How much of a price drop?
Okay, so let's talk about that JTM 20 head we've been looking at.
That's what
studio
you've
head.
been looking at. Don't act like it's just us.
Okay.
It's you.
That I've been looking at.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe for the head, if I'm not wrong here, it was $15.99 for just the head.
So $1,600.
$1,600. That dropped to $12.99 for just the head.
So drop $300.
$300.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty dang good. The Silver Jubilee head, 100-watt head, dropped down to $18.99. It was at like almost $3,000. So these prices are dropping down because there was a middleman basically for the distributor in between the UK to the US.
Okay.
So that middleman was taking his little cut, right? Which makes sense. And now they got rid of that.
How'd you find out about all this anyway?
About the price drop?
Yeah, and the middleman and all this stuff.
I read it somewhere. I think there was an article that popped up somewhere, and I pulled it up online and started reading about it. But if you get on like any of the sites, Sweetwater, anything, Guitar Center, you'll see like price drop all over Marshall stuff.
Okay.
And if you click on it, you'll see what the old price is versus the new price. Like my 50-watt head, which technically is not the same. They have a Mark II model they're selling now, but this is the Mark I. It was like $29.99, I think, is what they were selling for, and now it's down to like $2,100 or something.
Holy cow, that's a huge...
took like a third off of it.
Wow.
So I think a lot of the prices are coming down like in the ballpark of 20% to like 30%.
Okay.
But basically it takes that studio head that I was looking at for like $1,500-$1,600. You can get that and the cab now for pretty much the same price you could buy just the head for. So, what's your thoughts on this? Does it change your thoughts on... Because Marshall for the U.S. has been kind of pricey to get a hold of.
For sure. It's not kind of. It is.
And,
or it was.
For what it was, I thought it was kind of pricey and therefore kind of sought after. Does it change your mind on Marshall stuff?
I mean, I don't know if it's not going to change my mind. Like, I always liked Marshall.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of one of those things where, like, I've got Fenders, I've got a Vox. Could I ever see myself with a Marshall? I don't know. I think one of those studios, I definitely could.
Yeah.
If they ever made those JTM ones again, I would be there for it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, that JTM 20 is pretty close.
It's pretty close.
Pretty close to what you're looking for. 20
sound,
watts.
If it's good enough for Tom Bukovac.
It's good enough for me.
That's right.
It's too good for me, probably.
So, but no, that price point, I mean, sounds like you need to buy one.
So the Studio Vintage, they've got the 800. They've got the Silver Jubilee, they've got that JTM 20, and they've got the standard Plexi 20. And they're all selling for $12.99 now.
So would you get the JTM?
For me, I would get the JTM.
Yeah.
I've got this, which, is great, but I can't play it out very much. And
the JTM will be a bit warmer, too, so I think it'll be a little better with pedals.
So we'll get into this one day, but... I actually changed some tubes around here to make this head a little bit warmer than what it is some of the preamp tubes, which should help it a lot. And I was trying to get a little closer to that JTM thing, I guess.
Okay.
And yeah, I think the JTM would be closer to what I want. It'd probably be even a little bit more warm than this. But I think this moves Marshall into the category of more affordable for the gigging musician.
Right.
I think it takes them from like almost boutique prices on a lot of their stuff, especially like Silver Jubilees or 800 heads.
Right.
Even like the DSL stuff, some of their heads and stuff. The Origin series that they've got, I think the Origin 50 head now. So a 50-watt Origin head is selling for like $5.99 or $6.99.
Okay.
For a backup head,
right.
I mean, that would be a killer deal.
Yeah.
So the problem is now we've got a weird used market. We've got a Guitar Center that's not real far away from us that's got one of those JTM 20 heads that I've been itching to go play. But they're selling it now for like $14.99 used.
Or you could just buy a brand new one.
Buy a brand new one for $12.99.
Yeah.
So what are we going to... I don't know what's going to happen with this used market, but all these people are going to have to take a lot less.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to,
I was about to say, you're going to have a lot of aggravated people. But that's just the market. I mean, no one can...
Can't predict the market.
No.
But it does make it a lot more interesting for me because Yeah, and then you look in the combos and stuff, and now the combos and everything's getting really competitive with the stuff that Fender's doing and the stuff that all these other companies are doing.
Yeah.
I'd love to see some of these distributors, like those middlemen, kind of go away like that, because it helps us out with Marshall. There's like Victory overseas that I'd love to check out some of their stuff, but supposedly it's pretty reasonable over there in the UK to buy Victory stuff, but here it's not. It's a little pricey.
I haven't even looked into Victory, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I've looked at some of their stuff, and then every time I look, I'm like, yeah, but why would I buy that when I can just buy this that's, about the same price?
Right. So that's cool. I didn't realize that Marshall had dropped that much. I would check out some of their stuff.
Yeah.
I still don't know if I'm going to buy anything necessarily.
Is there one piece that you're like, man, if that went down in price significantly enough, I would probably go play one and maybe jump on it?
I've never really tried it like a blues breaker type of amp.
Yeah, okay. Like the combo?
Yeah.
Oof.
I've never really tried one. I've heard some iffy things about it being bass heavy sometimes. So, but anyways, that's another topic for another day.
So there is some out there.
I'm curious.
Long story short,
if it was a good price point and something I'm interested in, I would probably jump on a Marshall. So
okay, well that's.